so welcome back to Lex Reads. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about my ultimate guide of the Harlem Renaissance, where I started, how I, got into this whole, rabbit hole when it comes to the Harlem Renaissance. Have just become immersed in this era, and when I tell you I'm having so much fun, because I didn't know a lot about this time. I didn't know a lot about, the Harlem Renaissance, and now it has just, oh my goodness. So yeah, so let's just get started. Renaissance is from 1917 through 1937. So it kind of ended in the late 30s. So if you really think about it, it wasn't just a lot of time. And the fact that it wasn't a lot of time, but we still have so much works from these brilliant, authors, that just says it alone. So these guys have really helped me. So the first book that, if you want to know anything about this time, you have to have this book, and it is The New Negro, and this is edited by Alan Lark. Now, this was published in 1925. Alan Lark was the dean of the Harlem Renaissance. So if it wasn't, for Alan Lark, we wouldn't have known authors like Zora Hurston, Langston Hughes, Nella Larson, so on and so forth. So he's the one that really just pushed this. Now, this is just fantastic because this has short stories, it has art, it has poetry, critical analysis, just everything talking about, the beginning of the Harlem Renaissance. It was actually called The New Negro, and then that's when they transformed it into the Harlem Renaissance. So this is just fantastic. I absolutely adore, this book. And like I said, it has artwork, and it's so helpful. I have 2 copies of this because, this is for me to highlight and write in and, do all of that. And then I have this edition where it's just really nice and pretty. I want to keep it want to keep it that way. And I really love this edition. It's so pretty. So yeah, this is a gem. You have to have this. Next, what helped me was the Messenger reader. Now, this actually was a magazine. This was the 3rd popular magazine from the Harlem Renaissance. It debuted in 1917. This is great because it has, once again, short stories, critical analysis, essays. But this one has some stories by some authors that are not really well known, or you didn't think that they were in the Harlem Renaissance, such as Dorothy West. I didn't know Dorothy West was a part of the Harlem Renaissance. She wrote a lot of poetry back then, but her novels didn't get published until her first novel didn't get published until the mid 1940s. But I didn't know her. Also, I didn't know Eric Walden. He was a Caribbean author from the Harlem Renaissance. Didn't know him. So things like that, when it comes to anthologies and books of that nature, it really does help because you just learn so much more. So yeah, with this one, it has County Cullen, Georgia Douglas Johnson. Who else in here? Oh, so many. Of course, Zora Hurston, Langston Hughes, just to name a few. So, you have a whole variety of people that you can choose from. Next is the portable, the Harlem Renaissance Reader. This one is also a gem because although all of these have the same kind of concept, they're still different because, this one has things that the Messenger doesn't, such as it has a short story in here that I was looking for and I could not find, and it's by Wallace Thurman, called Cruella the Crude. That is about I believe a prostitute, and during the Harlem Renaissance, they didn't write about things like that. Well, they did, but they did it in a clever way. They tried to make it kind of discreet, but when you read it, oh, okay, she's a lady of the night. Another story that I wanted to read and they couldn't find it anywhere was Smoke, Lilies, and Jade by Richard Bruce Nugent. He was known as an artist, but he did one book and he did a couple of short stories, and I could not find that anywhere. And when I got this beauty, it was in there. So, oh my goodness, I'm excited to read about that one too. Who else do they have in here? They have some essays from W.E.B. Du Bois. Walter White was another writer that I did not know about. Yeah, just great. The next one I have is the novels of the Harlem Renaissance. This is 12 Black writers from 1923 to 1933. This has some stories and just information about Countee Cullen. He was a poet. It has Jessie Redmond Fawcett. Who else? Rudolph Fisher. He was the first Black novelist to write a detective novel. Who else? It has Claude McKay, Wallace Thurman, Jean Toomer. I mean, just a host of people. And this is another one that was a gem because I did not know, for example, I didn't know that Rudolph Fisher was the first Black man to write a detective, novel. So, yeah. And then lastly, I have Footnotes. Now, this is about the first all-Black cast of Shuffle Along. Shuffle Along was a play that premiered on Broadway in 1921. And this talks about the behind the scenes of the Broadway and the artists and the music and everything. And you could, the fact that they were able to pull this off and for it to be a success was just like mind-blowing, because clearly, as you guys know, back in the 1920s, 1930s, it was hard for Blacks to do a lot of things like it is today. But not a lot of people know about Shuffle Along. Now, Shuffle Along, they did a revival of it a couple years ago, starring Audra McDonald, who else, and Billy Porter. And I wish I would have seen that. Back in the day, I wasn't into the Harlem Renaissance like I am now, because if it was premiering now, I would go get a ticket. So yeah, this, I love it because, like I said, it gives you the behind the scenes, of everything that happened and took place, and it was a roller coaster ride. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys. So because this era was so small, like I said, from like 1917 to like 1937, 38, there's a limited amount of information. And the good thing is we do have the New Negro, which was a stepping stone, because as you can see, there's not a lot. But these books, these anthologies, they do pack a lot of, stories. So yeah, I'm so excited that I have these and I discovered these anthologies because they really did help. Like, this whole guide really did help me. For example, I am currently reading Wallace Thurman, Infants of the Spring. Now, Wallace Thurman is known for a book called The Blacker the Berry. I only thought that he just did that. No, this is his second novel. And then he had the short story that I had mentioned. He has other short stories. Because of these books, I was able to, learn about this. So that's the beauty of, these books and these guides. They really did help me. So yeah, guys, that's all I have for you. And I'll be back with more Black books.